Right on the border between Wyoming and Idaho is the Tetons. The eastern edge is the more famous edge with the granite peaks of Grand Teton, Moran, and Tiwanaut. But the eastern edge is kind of more famous for its skiing. And the ski resort Targhee is right nearby here. And after I drop my kids off, then I get to go play for a bit. And so this day, I'm going to climb a peak, an unnamed peak called Peak 9317, named after its elevation. And so you start halfway between Driggs and Victor, and you start up Darby Canyon, and you go up this road about 1.5 miles, and then you get off the road onto the snowmobile track and go along the edge of the river on the opposite side. Then you turn a sharp corner and go up this really steep slope. And up from the slope, then it gets really pretty because you get in a bunch of meadows and aspen groves and things like that. And on the way up, I'm pretty much taking the path of least resistance. I'm going to go the straightest route possible. On the way down, you can see I'm zigzagging. But near the top here, 3,000 vertical feet up, and about 5.25 miles, I reach the summit. At that point in time, I have this great view of all the mountains around. That's Tabletop Mountain, and here we have Grand Teton. And if you look further down, you can see the valley with Driggs and with Victor and the Big Hole Mountains off in the distance. So after having a nice lunch, then I start making my way down. I'm about an hour ahead of schedule. So I kind of meander through the trees and look for some beautiful spots and thoroughly enjoy myself. It's easy going on the way down because gravity's helping, so I don't have to worry about avoiding the soft snow. I'm just kind of making my way down and let the gravity do its work. And I got to my car 10 minutes ahead of schedule. I mean, talk about perfect timing. It was absolutely a beautiful day. Couldn't be better.
Okay, I'm starting out another attempt on peak number 9317, I think. Well, actually, I got it 2 weeks ago, but now it's sunny. Now I'm gonna have a view. It's also really cold. A nice little spot for a little sit down and enjoy the view. The approach is long, but easy going, and making good time, and I'm watching the sunrise. Cold as it is, 5 degrees out, water's still running. Well, finished the first part of the approach, and now the second part along the snowmobile track before I start heading up and gain altitude. This basically parallels the river for a bit, but it's sure beautiful, isn't it? Can't complain. More than 2 miles in, I'm finished with the flat part, and now I'm heading for the steep climb, ready to gain altitude. Ooh-yah! Oh, this is steep. It has got to be a 30% grade. Whew! We're getting above the valley already. Well, gained a bit of altitude already. Oh, we're getting up there. I call this Dr. Seuss snow because it looks like a Dr. Seuss cartoon, sort of like the Cat in the Hat comes back. Big clumps of snow frozen in the trees, caused by a big snowfall, no wind, and the little stuff melted out, leaving only the big stuff. An hour and a quarter in, about 3 miles, just crossed 1,000 foot again, and got a little bit of the view. So when I was here 2 weeks ago, this was just whiteout, but now it's beautiful. First sun, yes. Look at the sheen on that snow. Texture is amazing. It looks like little diamonds. Blue sky. Wow, this is such a difference from 2 weeks ago. Two hours in, 1,700 vertical feet, about 3.5 miles, almost 4 miles. Making progress. Well, I'm not too far from the top. The snowmobiles have clearly been through here, but what a beautiful day. Maybe 20 minutes till the top. Almost at the top. I'm hungry for lunch. Oh, on top of the world. Oh boy, it's beautiful here. There is seriously not even a breath of wind. It couldn't be any more different than it was in two weeks ago. But one cool thing is I got a little bit of company. Got some snowmobilers sharing my lunch with me. How cool is that? I love how the snow forms these little mole hills, and it's crazy because it's flat in the summer, but somehow, by the way the wind blows or the snow drops, they fill these mole hills in the winter. Isn't that cool? Heading down, maybe halfway down, maybe not quite, and boy, it's been a nice day. But look how thick the trees are getting. So it's gonna get pretty dense now. Oh, it's a beautiful day to be alive. I just can't get enough of it. I'm gonna be sad when I get back to the car. Look at these little lumps. I mean, they're everywhere. The mixture of the aspen and the evergreen is about perfect. It just makes it so beautiful. I love the density of the trees because you can see through them, and yet there's just so much to see. It's just a winter wonderland. The density of the trees is getting much thicker, so soon I'm gonna have to make my way onto a trail, I think. Oh, it's getting really dense. When you get down low, the trees get really close together, so it's kind of hard to pick your way through. Maybe 1,000 feet to go. I just passed the fork in the trail, making good progress. I keep thinking this is the last aspen grove, but there just always seems to be just one more. I love the way the snow kind of is sloughing off of this fell tree. Isn't that cool? The undergrowth has gotten so thick here that our snowmobile track is pretty much our only way. But it's really steep and we're losing altitude quickly. I think in about 15 minutes we're going to meet up with that trail at the bottom, which will take us back to the trailhead. Can't tell you how different this is than 2 weeks ago. I mean, there was zero view. I couldn't tell a clearing from the dense trees. And now, man, I could even see the car way over there. Well, we were getting down there quickly. Altitude is much easier to lose than to gain. Okay, so with this milepost here in this corner, I leave the trail, which goes pretty much straight up the ridge, and enter the flat trail, which goes along the river. Now, in the past, this has just been a snowmobile track, but there's definitely evidence of grooming. See, look right here. See those lines there? It's been groomed. So this might be a cross-country ski track. Okay, just down this little hill here, and I'm going to meet up with the road, and that's where I got to park 2 weeks ago. However, a lot of snow has come since then, and parking there is just not a possibility. So I'm going to have to walk along the road for about a mile and a half to get back to my car, but certainly the difficult part is done. But I do remember distinctly taking off my snowshoes right here just 2 weeks ago. Well, that wraps up this hike, and I gotta say it was a lot easier than 2 weeks ago, even though I went 3 miles further. Just the weather makes all the difference in the world. It was beautiful, and I don't really think I was in a pain cave at all. I think I definitely want to do this one again. Cool.